Welcome to Stardew Valley, where the sky is always blue and the bounty of nature plentiful. Stardew Valley was developed by a single man. His name? Concerned Ape. Also known as Eric Barone. Also known as the most handsome game developer I've ever seen. There are so many things to do in Stardew Valley. So many that I can't fit them all in this video. Stardew Valley is as deep as it is wide, but most people, myself included, don't stick around long enough to find the satisfaction that the core gameplay loop provides. There's genuinely a little bit of something for everyone here, whether you're a hardcore min-maxer or a laid-back farmer who just wants to relax. Stardew Valley is sure to scratch that itch you didn't even know you had. Story. Your objective in Stardew Valley is to be as rich as humanly possible. It's up to you to revitalize the economy, control the local wildlife, and eventually restore the town to its former glory. Glory is subjective. Your dearly departed grandfather left you his overgrown, decrepit farm when he kicked the can, bestowing upon you the Herculean task of clearing out a field of trees with the axe equivalent of a butter knife. But before you do any of that, you are gonna have to pimp out your farmer. With such a variety of choice, you'll find it hard to settle with just a single one. Mechanics. Energy, it's the name of the game. Everything productive you do consumes your precious energy. When your energy is empty, you become a geriatric nursing home patient who can barely make it 100 meters before collapsing from exhaustion. You don't want this to happen. Energy doesn't recover on its own, and once you're out, you'll need to go to sleep to get it all back the next day. But we don't do that here. Rest is lame. Instead, juice up with food and drink, down shots of 5-hour energy, and pounds of raw fish to keep that body on the move, and get as much done in a single day as you possibly can. As you play through the game, you will find mysterious star drops. These are magical fruits that permanently increase your stamina bar. Now, how exactly do you find these? Well, the first one is pretty easy to... In Stardew Valley, there are 4 different seasons. Each season has 28 days, with each day having you wake up bright and early at 6 a.m. for a healthy and sustainable 4 to 6 hours of sleep. Each day consists of 20 hours in-game, separated by 6 increments of 10 minutes. 10 minutes will tick forwards every 7 seconds in real life, meaning you have a total of 14 minutes and 20 seconds each in-game day to get all your chores done and be in bed by 2 a.m. You get all that? You taking notes? Good, because we're not done. If, God forbid, you aren't under the covers of your bed by 2 a.m., much like real life, you'll pass out on the spot. You will then wake up the next day 1,000 gold lighter, either because you don't have healthcare, or because a Walmart employee found your unconscious body early in the morning and shamelessly lifted some items right out of your pocket. Nothing personal, just business. Money making. There are many different ways to get your money up in Stardew Valley. The first, farm. Acquire seeds from Pierre's local store and plunge them into the arid earth, individually watering them each and every day with tender love and care. Eventually, your crops will be available for harvest. Sell your crops on the market for 3 quid. Use those profits to buy more seeds, grow more plants, and feed the vicious, never-ending cycle. Optionally, buy fertilizer to increase the chance of high-quality plants upon harvest. These juicier plants sell for quite a bit more than normal, making it much more profitable when you have more money to throw around. It's also incredibly obnoxious to manually water your miles of plants with a single plastic watering can, unlocked after leveling your farming talent. Sprinkler systems are incredibly useful. For a small cost, you can harness the power of irrigation and craft sprinklers, which will water your crops every morning. Thank God for science. Be sure to harvest all of your crops before the end of the 28th day of each season, because once you go to bed, all crops outside that only grow in certain seasons will be dead, making space for new plants to be grown. While you're watching your grass grow, feel free to start chopping down trees and breaking rocks. Once you get enough raw materials, you can trade them with a little bit of gold at the constructor's home and purchase upgrades to your home, or unlock animal shelters like the coop and barn, allowing you to purchase animals from Marnie. If you pet and take care of your animals every single day, they will produce animal products. The higher the hearts, the higher the quality of the products, either higher star or larger size. You can sell these directly if you want, but the big money comes in when you turn them into artisan goods. Late game, this is where most of your income will roll in. You can upgrade each shelter 2 more times, and auto feed is unlocked at max level, level 3. You can also build a horse shelter, horse included, and travel around the world much faster than walking. Since animals are for rich elites, your poor self can't afford them at this point in the game. Finally, make sure you keep an eye on those trees, because they grow really fast. Fishing. Choose your bait, lure, and rod, and catch you a biggin. You don't even have to fish on the docks. You can fish here, 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 and even here. I wouldn't recommend it though, unless you plan on selling trash. Fishing is quite simple, and you can catch certain fish corresponding with time, weather, and season. Early game, it's easy, simple money, and is a good way to get started with instant payoff. The more fish you catch, the higher your fishing skill gets, and the more rods you can buy from Willy. Once you get the iridium rod, you might notice 2 boxes when hovering over it in your inventory. That is where the bait and tackle go. These add different effects such as light magnetism, higher chance of higher quality fish, higher treasure chance, higher bite chance, etc. The fish tend to be a little, harder to catch sometimes, but with a little practice, you'll be reeling them in like, hold on. Google famous fisherman. Roland Martin. He's probably a cool guy. Mining. Once you're done seeing the sights, take a trip up northeast and delve into the depths of the local monster-infested mine to pillage some precious African blood diamonds. Those gains don't come easy though. To claim your prize, you're gonna have to cleave your way through a variety of monsters, such as slime number 1412, nondescript bug, mole, imposter rock, dusty boys, and many more. So many more. When they caress you, you might lose some HP. This can be healed with food or a good night's rest. Or you can create a mushroom brew to get it all back in one go. While Stardew Valley may seem difficult, there are lots of ways to make your journey easier. Now that you've made some money, you need to learn how to put those gains to use. This leads me into RPG elements. Unlike in most other role-playing games, RPGs, your tools are immortal. They do not break. Then how, you might ask, do you get upgrades? Well, by exploring the mines and progressing ever closer to the accursed bottom floor. You will find more ores of increased quality. 5 ore plus 1 coal smelt into a single ingot in a furnace. You need 5 ingots to upgrade each tool, plus a little to a lot of gold. These upgrades are permanent. Once your tools are maxed, that's it. No more upgrading. You can upgrade your pickaxe to break higher level rocks faster, your hoe to unlock a charge ability that extends further and wider with each upgrade, your axe to chop trees faster and break hardwood stumps, your watering can to water multiple tiles, similar to the hoe. The sword and fishing rod can be upgraded, but only if you have the guap. The deeper you go in the mines, the better swords that are available for purchase from the Adventurers Guild. Swords, boots, and rings can also drop as loot from monsters. Rings provide a variety of different effects. Mix and match these because you can dual wield them. The only armor that provides stat increases are the items that go in the shoes slot. The hat and shirt are exclusively cosmetic, and pants are optional. Your inventory can also be upgraded by purchasing backpacks from Pierre's General Store with raw cash. As you do things in Stardew Valley, you will gain experience points in 5 different categories: farming, mining, foraging, fishing, and combat. You don't benefit from a level up until you sleep, but you can earn multiple levels per day. As you progress through the levels, the EXP required to level up increases, but as a trade-off, the higher your level, the better the crafting recipes you unlock will be, and the less energy your tools will consume on use. The max level for each skill is 10. Every 5 levels, you can choose between 2 different professions that drastically change your experience. The level 10 profession options are dependent on what you chose at level 5. You can change later, but it's very expensive. A little gamer tip for you: the artisan is broken as fuck. Rebuilding. You probably forgot about this one, eh? The progression comes through your rebuilding of the town hall, which has seen better days. You can either rebuild it yourself, or you can go corpo and upgrade the building through bootlicking your former overlords. At the end of the day, you can do either and it won't make a difference. Both paths lead to the same result generally, with some features being locked off depending on what you decide to do. For the best experience though, I recommend completing the collection quests on your first playthrough for a variety of reasons that I won't go into. Just trust me on this one. It might be a bit harder, but the sense of satisfaction is much greater. Mods. This game is not perfect. It's close, but not quite all the way there. I'm reviewing version 1.5, and it leaves just a bit to be desired in terms of quality of life changes. Luckily, if you're on a PC, or Android probably, you can fix that with mods. Of course, there are the ones that let you cheat, but cheating makes the game boring, so don't do that. The ones I use do things like indicate whether I've already pet or harvested materials from an animal, show NPC locations on the map in real time, show the sell price of items when hovering over them in my inventory, change the villager portraits, show EXP bars, and a whole lot more. You can even complete the farming experience with a mod that lets you drive a tractor. How wonderful! Besides those helpful add-ons, there is also a large mod called Stardew Valley Expanded, which adds on a lot more content. I may do a review for this in the future when I get around to it. As it stands, I still have a lot of the main game to progress through before I consider touching that. Thoughts? If you couldn't tell, I love Stardew Valley. It isn't very demanding from a technical standpoint, which makes it very accessible. You could literally run this on a calculator. The world building is subtle but effective, and if you're able to even get a little bit invested, it's very easy to be unconsciously pulled into the therapeutic, laid-back farming experience. It's escapism at its best. Some things I liked. There's a very large variety of playstyle. You can do whatever you want and you'll find a way to make money. You're not forced to do anything you don't want to. There's lots of items, crops, and upgrades to chase, which means you never have nothing to do. The more you play, the more you discover. This gameplay loop lasts for a very, very long time. It leaves you with a lot of content. By the time you reach the end of that content, you're ready to start over and the stuff at the beginning of the game feels fresh and new again. And finally, there's a very large variety of areas to explore. No two places look the same. You can usually tell where you're at by a glance. Some things I disliked. There's no quick save option. I can't just put a bookmark in it and close the application. You have to go to bed at the end of the day to save the game. Sometimes the instructions are too vague, and people will need to go hunting for answers online. This could be solved through perhaps a breadcrumb trail of some kind for new players. The map isn't very accurate or especially helpful outside of checking shop times. It gets the job done, but only barely. Those are the only complaints I really have outside the quality of life stuff that I covered in the mods section. The game is really good at keeping things fresh, and it's very satisfying to look back and see how far you've come. In terms of aesthetic, Stardew Valley's charming pixel artwork is very pretty. It's a vibrant game. Stardew Valley also has an incredible level of polish. I didn't see a single bug throughout my 80 hours of playtime, which is very impressive for an indie game. Closing remarks. Play Stardew Valley. That's not a recommendation, that's a command. For the amount of entertainment you get from it, the price is minuscule. I purposely omitted a lot of details of the late game in my review, because, well, they're a whole lot more fun to discover yourself. Especially the very deep relationship system, where you can establish connections with the many different villagers in town, as well as the bachelors and bachelorettes who are eligible for marriage. It's very accessible even for people who don't frequently play games, and it's incredibly fun. There is even a multiplayer mode that I haven't tried because my friends don't play, meaning you can share your farm with a significant other or family members. Hopefully, I got you interested enough to try it out yourself, since the world Mr. Concerned Ape created is truly one of a kind. I played on Steam, but you can honestly buy it anywhere now, even on mobile. So please do that if your interest has been piqued. Have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching.